Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX Deep Dive. My name is Vineet Malhotra. Thailand has again found itself struck with grief due to gun violence. This time, a school in Bangkok has seen a 14-year-old student carry out a planned shooting. 7 people are dead, 20 others injured. Let's break this down. The first video of this incident is one of the most terrifying visuals you might see. The video shows students hiding inside benches in distress. You can then see them sob, but at the same time, gunshots can be heard in the backdrop. Listen in. Can be seen sprinting out of the school campus. Some are barefoot, others are crying uncontrollably. Parents rush towards the gates while the police try to create a security cordon. Every few seconds, another terrified child emerges from the building, and the expressions on their faces reveal the unimaginable horror unfolding inside the school. Have a look at this video. Officers carrying assault rifles systematically clear classrooms and corridors. Parents wait helplessly behind barricades, desperately trying to learn whether their children are safe, and within minutes, authorities confirm that the shooter is dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. This footage just shows a student shooter wearing a purple uniform as a barricade was set up on the 3rd floor. Let's listen in. And imagine the grief these parents must be feeling. Their children left their homes on a normal day to go to school. Imagine receiving a call from your children's school or learning about this incident on the news. Their children were victims of a terror attack done by one of their classmates. The school attacked was Debrecen School, located in Bang Kruai district on the outskirts of Bangkok, Thailand. It is a government secondary school affiliated with the prestigious Debrecen School Network, one of Thailand's oldest and most respected educational groups. The original Debrecen School in Bangkok was founded in 1885 by King Chulalongkorn. The attacker was a 14-year-old 9th grade student at the school where the shooting took place. Investigators say that he first went to his grandparents' home and fatally shot both of them using his grandfather's legally registered 9mm handgun. He then drove approximately 6 kilometers to the school in Bang Kruai district, entering through the main school gate just before classes were underway. He parked inside the campus and walked towards the main academic block. Investigators say he opened fire inside the school, moving through the administrative and teaching areas before turning the gun on himself. Police later secured the campus and evacuated hundreds of students while emergency services rushed the injured to nearby hospitals. An emergency worker described the scene as he witnessed it. He found a male teacher lying dead on an upper floor of the school and a female teacher with wounds in her chest and arm in another room. They found that the perpetrator had shot himself in the right side of the head and collapsed. When we got up there, we checked his pulse. He still had one, and CPR was started during the attack, and the suspect fired at least 26 bullets with a gun belonging to his grandfather and was found with 34 additional ammunition rounds. Here's how a student described it all.
ก็ตอนนั้นก็เกิดเรื่องในนี่ขึ้นครับอยู่ๆได้ยินเสียงขึ้นมาจากอาคาร5แล้วก็ไม่รู้ว่ามันเป็นยังไงต่อทีแรกผมก็คิดว่าเล่นๆว่าคงจะแบบเสียงประทัดหรือว่าใครตีอะไรดังๆ
And according to the Thai police, the attacker used a 9mm semi-automatic pistol that was legally owned and licensed to his grandfather, a retired police officer. Thailand has some of the highest civilian gun ownership rates in Southeast Asia, with an estimated 10.3 million firearms, or roughly 15 guns per 100 people. While firearm ownership requires a government-issued license and applicants must meet age, background and eligibility requirements, experts say enforcement has been inconsistent and illegal weapons remain widespread. This is not the first time such a shooting was reported. On the 3rd of October 2023, a 14-year-old boy opened fire inside Bangkok's luxury Siam Paragon shopping mall using a modified blank pistol. The attack killed 3 people, including a Chinese tourist and a Myanmar national, and injured several others before the teenager surrendered to the police. On October 6, 2022, Thailand witnessed its deadliest mass killing when a former police officer armed with a gun and a knife attacked a childcare center in Nong Bua Lamphu. At least 36 people, including 24 young children, were killed before the attacker murdered members of his own family and died by suicide. Thailand's Prime Minister has vowed to propose a law to restrict the carrying of firearms by the public. Let's listen in.
ได้ส่งผู้ที่เกี่ยวข้องไปในพื้นที่แล้วนะครับแย่มากเลยเป็นเหตุที่ไม่น่าเกิดขึ้น
อย่าเปิดซ้ายครับเสียใจอะไรบ้างตอนนี้
เบื้องต้นได้รับรายงานตัวเลขยังไงบ้างครับ
ได้ไม่ใช่เสียใจเฉพาะผู้เสียชีวิตเสียใจที่เหตุการณ์อย่างนี้มันเกิดขึ้นได้ยังไงในประเทศเราสอง
เดี๋ยวจัดจุดให้นะค
ปืน
รับ
เนี่ยทั้งหลายที่รัฐบาลไม่ยอมให้พกไม่ยอมให้ต่อไม่ยอมให้ครอบครองก็เพราะเหตุผลอย่างนี้
As Thailand comes to terms with yet another mass shooting, the tragedy has once again exposed difficult questions about gun access, school safety and youth mental health. Investigators will continue to piece together what drove a 14-year-old student to carry out such an attack, but for the families who lost loved ones, no investigation can undo the devastation. The incident has reignited calls for stricter firearm regulations, better mental health support for children and stronger security measures in schools. For a nation that has witnessed several mass shootings in recent years, the challenge now is not just to mourn the victims, but to ensure that classrooms remain places of learning, not scenes of unimaginable violence. Pathikrit Pine, international affairs expert, is joining us on the program to give his perspective. Pathikrit, something that is usually reported from the United States is also being seen and heard coming out of Thailand. How do you assess, this gun situation in Thailand?
Thank you, Vineet. Any kind of incident like this, wherever it happens, is always very tragic. But it's all the more shocking that something like this, which we have often heard happening in the United States, we can witness certain things now happening probably in Eastern Asia. If it is happening in Thailand, my biggest worry is that tomorrow it can happen anywhere else as well. See, there are two aspects to it, as you rightly mentioned about the gun control. Yes, there is an issue. There is an issue of availability of illegal guns. But any gun with large number of bullets, well, that's a very, very critical problem. However, availability of gun itself will not necessarily mean that somebody at the age of 14 would go and shoot. That means there is something else going on in the society which perhaps was not there in the past. We do often hear nowadays the issue of mental health. Vinit, when you were young or I was young, I mean, we never faced certain things like this because we had normal childhood. We used to go to play. We soaked ourselves in the rain. We had friends. We had social life. Unfortunately, with technology and with rapid pace of technological development, we see that social alienation of kids are happening today at a far rapid pace than what is desirable. Unfortunately, whether you talk about India or Thailand or anywhere else, especially in the eastern part of Asia, where countries still hold on to their culture, even then we find kids of today are totally alienated. They don't want to go out of their home. They are completely hooked on to social media. And whether the social media itself is actually playing a role in these kind of incidents, that is something we have to keep in mind. Mental health, if it is happening because of social media, then is a very big cause for worry. Apparently, apart from that, we would also see that in the childhood of ours, we had enough time to involve or engage ourselves in extracurricular activities. Today, everything that the child does, there is a target set, unfortunately, by the parents of the society that you have to excel in that. Whether you want to be a cricketer or a footballer or a painter, there's a target set. the sense of enjoyment of doing something, whether it's about playing a sport or doing something creative, that unfortunately probably is going away. So there is so much of pressure being imposed on the young generation. There's so much of target-oriented thing that is happening. There is so much of pressure to actually crack competitive exam, and there's so much of exposure to negative content in the social media. I think a combination of many of these things are playing a role in terms of this kind of an incident. You know what the incident happened? It's a very shocking incident, but not just about unearthing the reason for that incident. The root cause has to be found as to why such things are happening in the society today. We have not heard in our childhood, Vinay, that something like this ever happened anywhere in the neighborhood or the country or in the previous generation. What has fundamentally changed in the last 2 decades is a question to ponder. If it is happening in Thailand, Vinay, then it's a cause for worry, because tomorrow it can happen in other parts of Southeast Asia, and we may also not remain immune to it. Somebody getting into and shooting en masse their friends, their other kids, this is not normal. This is not out of vengeance. There's something else. Is it that the social media is instilling a sense of sadistic pleasure out of it? Is it that there is a sudden sense of accomplishment by doing something as sinister as this? So these are social issues that needs to be probed far more deeper by the governments, by the civil society, than merely looking at it as an isolated case, where investigation concludes by merely killing or neutralizing the perpetrators. It should not end there. Back to you, sir. Vineet.
All right, Pathakrit, appreciate you joining us. Well, we'll take a short break on that note. Be right back.